like a intuitive. I think she's a channel. She's a channel. Channel means she channels. She channels information from spiritual and energy, emotional realms to the practical, and she tries to bring forward all that she can to a practical and logical mind who is very confused and overthinking or lost any kind of mental problem. She brings spiritual positive and energy, emotional positive energy, and she channels into this. Sorry, the fog, there is a fog in my room. But yeah, hi, welcome everybody. So we just finished like a quick coaching session with a very sweet guy. um, the guy just messaged me saying like, "Oh, I want to talk to you about your past experiences," and here comes my hunter's mullet. Yeah. So basically, the guy said, "Oh, I want to talk about your experience," and we got to talking. So the guy is here in New Zealand. He's going to go. He has to go to back to India in August, and the he's on a very tight deadline. Tight deadline. So tight deadline means like can't really go, like can't really stay here in New Zealand. And so I've been helping him to gain the clarity. So going to India, yeah, his family has things lined up for him, which is nice for the family to support. But as an individual and as a whole person, his family is today he's here, but tomorrow it may not be here. So that's the confusion. So we got a couple of months to push through to get him a visa extension. So we're gonna work on that. I'm working with him on that, and it's been slow progress, but I'm gonna start working on more rigorously on that with him to help him find the extension of his visa here in New Zealand. So his energy, he's got a lot of good energy, much needed energy, and his energy can be here in New Zealand, which is like really going through a big transition and transformation. So transition and transformation of this country will be impacting global transformation at some point. So yeah, when we lose something, he was talking to me. He's telling me like, how like these old parents, they sometimes they lose their son early on. They lose their son, and sometimes kids lose their parent early on. So what to do in those situations? Like how do we tackle those situations? So I'm saying like, there are two ways. Mostly in India, when people say parents lose their kids or kids lose their parents, there is not really a very good support plan or recovery structure system, I can say, right? So if somebody lost their son was the only source of income most of the time, right? And they don't have any source of income, which is pretty crazy. So parents have to do nothing. They just have to like rely on others, rely on relatives for basic income. But in New Zealand, you get pension and you get also benefits if you something is wrong with your health and some sort of emergency or disaster, unseen or unknown disaster came into your life. You get the government support, right? So people work here, people pay taxes, and you get the basic support, which is fantastic system. But this is not available. A system like this is not available in small countries or underdeveloped countries, right? Which is pretty sad, to be honest. These are big countries. They pride themselves, countries such as India, they pride themselves on your spiritual wisdom, on their emotional wisdom, on all those resources, but they can't have very basic and practical support system for the families, for the old people, and for the generational kids. Hello, C's 2K10. Hera Edwardson. Hi, Hera. Good evening, guys. So we're talking about loss, like when we lose something, what can be done in those situations when we lose something, right, or someone. So say if somebody is like 56-year-old and they lose their mother, they have to go through how loving their mother was, right? So it was a issue with the energy of caring, the care of mother. So the guy will miss that. But it's very simple. It's very simple. Mothering energy, if the guy had already got, if his mother did not overcare for him, she did not like over mother him, and she just made him a tough guy, a little bit tough guy, to be on his own, right? He wouldn't have to go through so much grief after his mother died, right? Or after somebody's father dies, same thing. Like, if you're too much relying on parents, or parents are relying on kids, or anybody relying on anybody, you really, really struggle when you lose that person or that thing, because you have not been taught to independent. We have not been taught to independent. So independence is something we need to educate and integrate in our support system, educational system, school system, like, from 10th, year 10 or so, like, or 18 or so, they should have like something like which teaches them independence. Like, you have sexual education, you have education like science, mathematics. There should be something around emotional independence, which is my course is all about, like, clarity of your spiritual independence, emotional independence, and practical independence. So if you know that, your mother will go away one day, your father will go away one day, kids will also, not will be there for supporting each other. What happens is we don't rely and lean on, and put our burdens on others, right? We don't, like, shake and put ourselves on others, rely on others for so much. So in that way, when we are not relying on each other too much, and we are depending only, most of the time we are self-reliant, which is like, knowing that we are a formless soul, limitless. We are whole body, whole mind, like, we don't really need anybody for emotional, like, emotional support, like, yeah, love, heart. We don't die if people don't love us. We don't really die. All we need is this breathing and food. If we had these two things, we are pretty much very, very, in a very, very good position. And rest, everything is a need which is created by the society, by the world, by the life circumstances and life experiences. I'm in New Zealand, Hera. How about you? Which country you're in? Says K, says 2K1. I'm doing fine, brother or sister. I can't really go deep to look in your picture, but yeah, I'm doing fine. Just doing my passion, like to bring clarity to everybody or anybody who is watching. So yeah, so basically, yeah, so he was talking about how to handle the situation when you lose something or someone, right? So what I told him, like, as he was talking, the idea just came to me. I was telling him, how cool is it that he's thinking like that? How cool, how awesome it is to think like that, where he wants to solve a problem, which is a problem of someone losing someone. Somebody dies, and how do we support that person? So anybody who thinks like that is a caring person, is a good leader, right? This guy is only 19 years old, and he's a good leader. So it's very nice and very, 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 very cool, and it earns him the respect from me that he's thinking like that, where he is, he wants to care for others. And then he's only 19, so he can start putting a plan together, like, a nice support system for someone who loses a loved one, in India or in America or in New Zealand. New Zealand, we have good support system. Kids and children are taught to be very independent early on, and they really live good and enjoy good life, and they live good life. India, the system is pretty broken, and also the Maori kind of community here, not very best upbringing. So now Rohit has the opportunity, the guy who is talking to me, who wants to set up this system. He could be the one who could spearhead. He's only 19, right? So if he realizes that he doesn't have to follow the expectations of the society, if the society wants him to go into an examination and compete for all his life, crack like a IAS, Indian Administration Service job, which will lock him in until the age of 60, he wouldn't be able to do it. But if he goes into this thing and really, really thinks, what do you call it, contemplate about the ideas around this plan, he might be able to set up a system like an online course, like I have set up after 42 years, online course helping people understand how to recover from a situation where they lost someone, right? So most of the time the only solution is solving that problem. So solving that problem is by having the right mindset first. Right mindset is the problem is, if nobody has died yet, there is no need to worry about it. So that's peace, it brings you the peace. And then once somebody dies, you can always, you just need energy in that moment rather than being sad. It's good to like organize, your budget, your finances, like, oh, this is how much I need to live for a month. Okay, my son is gone. That's all right. But now, as a 60-year-old guy, I need this much money. So you can either reach out for getting a job, or either reach out to someone who can give you the money and you can do some work for them. So solution based mindset, right? So what is, when somebody dies or we lose, it's a loss, yeah, which is a problem. We lost something, and we need to just have the energy and solution based mindset to be able to solve that problem. But most of the problem, if we really really think that's not going to happen, they will most likely not happen, right? So enjoy, while you're here today. Think what you want to do long term, like, think about a problem that you want to solve. Think about a problem that you have faced all your life, or you have seen your family, your parents, your colleagues facing that problem. You may be taking the lead to spearhead that movement and finding a solution. um, yeah, that's pretty much it. 11 minutes of my good times with you. This was pretty intense. I was feeling fatigued, but now it's all good. Feeling more energy as we are doing the finish lines. So, guys, need 500 subscribers. If you can just like, I don't even want liking and stuff. We just need more people watching the videos, and we need subscribers, 500 subscribers. That's the goal, that's the benchmark. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Love you all. Stay pumped out there. Say solution based thinking, clarity, eye of the universe all the way. And let's go. And I will continue to love you throughout the night, even when I'm sleeping. Bye now.